And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly, truly fantastic day today. One of the criticisms of Michael Jordan, I would say especially by the 4 and 6 Kingdom, is his leadership style. They say, hey, Michael Jordan was an a-hole. Michael Jordan, he punched Steve Kerr. And they tried to use this as some sort of, as if it matters because he got the results. Well, whatever way you describe his leadership style, Michael Jordan got the results. But they try to say it as if it's some kind of knock to his legacy, some kind of knock to his GOAT status. All the while, the thing that we hear about LeBron James is, oh, he's such a good guy and he's so likable and this and that and good father and blah, blah, blah. And I would argue, just from the way that they go about the game of basketball, you could tell who has the better character. One went about the game of basketball with integrity, with humility, while always giving praise to the players who came before him, refusing to call himself the GOAT out of respect for the players who came before him. And the other one went about the game through taking shortcuts, forming super teams, flopping, and calling himself the GOAT. Actually saying that he's the GOAT without regard for any of the players who came before him. So just from their character and how they went about the game of basketball, I would say it's easy to see who actually has the better character. And then, of course, we remember during the Olympics, there's the clip of LeBron James dissing the young kid who simply wanted an autograph and a picture with his favorite player, which I don't know why LeBron James would be anyone's favorite player, but the young kid just wanted a picture and an autograph. And LeBron James disses him sternly and then proceeds to walk to the club while dancing and taking a picture with someone else. That's LeBron James. LeBron James fanboys, that is your king. Well, here's a great story about Michael Jordan. And after Michael Jordan retired, more of the charity things that he did came out. We find out that Michael Jordan did a lot more things, even during his playing career, that anyone knew he did, because Michael Jordan didn't have to have the cameras there to record all of his good charity work. So this article is coming from Basketball Network. It says, I can remember John Paxson and I having tears in our eyes when Michael Jordan defied the rules by bringing a kid to the Bulls bench. It says one of the referees warned MJ about having a kid on the bench, but the Bulls legend didn't care. It says, if social media had existed when Michael Jordan played, the Chicago Bulls legend would have undoubtedly been even more talked about than he was. Aside from making it to countless highlight reels and replays, his exploits, whether good or bad, would have been posted on Twitter and Instagram countless times. On the other hand, social media would have allowed many more people to learn about Jordan's little known heartwarming story involving the late Dave. Born David Charles Rothenberg, the unfortunate kid was a victim of burning, with his father as the perpetrator. The crime left him severely disfigured and experiencing dangerous complications. Jordan heard about it and learned that the child was his fan. So his airness decided to bring Dave to a regular season game, and even used his royal status to bring his buddy to the Bulls bench despite league rules prohibiting it. Quote, Jordan fought to keep his self-indulgence private, as well as the burdens he chose to bear beyond the game. I thought in the early days he was doing too much. It was unbelievable. Former Bulls assistant coach Johnny Bach recalled, he always visited with some person or child who had a last wish. He never turned anyone down. Every night he faced that, and I could never understand how he was strong enough to do it. Kids that were burned, brutalized, and dying by disease or something else. I can still remember he saw a kid who was brought in whose father had burned his face off him. They brought him in, and Michael talked to him in that old dressing room we had in Chicago Stadium before the game. He just talked to him. You couldn't imagine a kid that was hideously burned, and Michael just talked to him. He put him on the bench, and during the game, he would come over and ask, how do you like that jump shot? One of the officials came over and said, Michael, you can't have that kid on the bench. It's against league's rules. And Michael looked at him and said, he's on the bench. He left our team timeouts to talk to the kid. I can remember John Paxson and I having tears in our eyes looking at the scene because the kid was so hideously burned. And here's Michael talking to him. So he had that greatness in him. It brought out scenes like that. That was repeated many times. He was a wonder man. Said, if you've heard Dave's story, it would be easy to understand why MJ was willing to defy the rules to make him happy. At 6 years old in 1983, Dave was the subject of a bitter custody battle between his divorced parents. His father then decided to take him to California after an argument with the mother over the phone. Dave was sedated by his father with a sleeping pill and then lit on fire in a motel room. The child miraculously survived with the help of other guests, although he suffered third-degree burns to almost his entire body. Required finger and toe amputations and needed over 100 skin grafts. Fortunately, the incident didn't incinerate Dave's resolve. Aside from Jordan, he had also met other celebrities, including Michael Jackson. It's unclear if he was able to run into David Robinson because apparently he idolized the San Antonio legend too. The Las Vegas, Nevada native loved Jordan and Robinson so much that he legally changed his name to David Jordan Robinson in 1992 before deciding on Dave 4 years later. He eventually joined the music industry before focusing on contemporary conceptual art. Dave passed away in 2018 after a battle with pneumonia. Now, normally I don't read the whole articles, but I thought that whole story was so heartwarming. And, you know, for MJ to be as popular as he was, to be as driven as he was, and to take time out to bring that kid to a Chicago Bulls game, to allow that kid to sit on the bench, breaking the rules. It said it was prohibited to do that, but Jordan just didn't care. To me, that shows you what kind of character Michael Jordan has. You know, if there's any question about it, whatever you ridiculous fanboys have to say about his being a so-called a-hole to his teammates, that was Michael Jordan holding his teammates accountable. But again, I would argue that is more a plus side to his character than a downside. Michael Jordan understood that there was a job to be done and that we all have to go out and earn our money. We all have to go out and put on a show for the fans, and we all have to go out and give maximum effort if we want to win championships. And so, you know, to me, that is a good trait. But again, outside of that, when we're talking about just character, to me, these are the kind of things that shows Michael Jordan's character. This story was such a fantastic story, but I've also seen, I think, a video on YouTube where some Jordan fan Michael Jordan like sent this guy tons of Jordan gear, Jordan shoes, jerseys, and all that. And according to whoever wrote this article, like this is something that Jordan did all the time. He always took time out to talk to kids, especially kids who were undergoing hard circumstances. You know, and to me that is super commendable. And yeah, you know, just another facet of Jordan that you learn more about, you know, the longer he has been away from the game. It's like, I never heard about this story. And if anybody did hear about that story or have already heard that story, or more specifically, if any of you guys knew about that story during Jordan's playing days, I would love to know about it in the comments. But yeah, I never heard that story until now. And so, yeah, to me, all these things, you know, play into character. You know, obviously, nobody's perfect, and neither is Michael Jordan. But when you're just talking about a person, number one, who obviously had a great work ethic, and again, whatever you say about him being hard on his teammates, he said it on The Last Dance. He said, I wanted to win, but I wanted them to win too. You know, when Steve Kerr hit that game-winning shot, and they're celebrating after they're celebrating what I guess in Chicago Park, and all those people, and Steve Kerr kind of makes a joke about well, you know, Phil was going to Michael, but Michael said he wasn't comfortable taking the last shot, so I took it. Steve Kerr made some kind of joke like that. But you could tell that Michael Jordan's happiness for Steve Kerr being able to make that shot was genuine. And so, again, you know, to me, Michael Jordan and LeBron James are complete opposites. They are complete opposites in every way, including one is the GOAT and one is the anti-GOAT. It's the opposite of the GOAT. It's everything that a GOAT should not be. LeBron James, like I said, we saw him be rude to the kid in Paris. LeBron James called himself the GOAT. LeBron James takes little digs at players from the previous eras. LeBron James has cheated the game. LeBron James has not upheld the standards of previous players and generations. LeBron James is the opposite of the GOAT. And but anyway, we gonna hold up here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think about that story about Michael Jordan and him bringing the kid to the bench, the kid who had been badly burned by his father, and Michael Jordan taking the time out to talk to the kid and bring him to a game and actually let him sit on the Chicago Bulls bench. And as you saw in the article, it even talked about him during Chicago Bulls timeouts. Michael Jordan would go talk to the kid. So I just think that was a super fantastic story, and an inspiring story to show that you know, just because you're cutthroat in sports doesn't mean that you're just a cutthroat person, obviously. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.